Hi, I'm Lori Bergman, and I'm the owner of Double Dips Ice Creamery in downtown North Platte on the Bricks. We sell Highland ice cream. It is made in Norfolk, Nebraska. And right now we currently have 28 flavors. We have 24 on the floor, but we also have extra flavors that may be a little secret that we keep in the back for our customers that like their usual. We also have homemade fudge that we make here in-house. I also have a baker here that makes homemade cookies, brownies, white chocolate blondie, where we put ice cream and then warm caramel sauce over it. We make homemade waffle cones here in-house. We make them fresh daily. I just want our customers to know that a lot of our product here is homemade. I have learned that our customer is our top priority, and I want to bring a smile to their face, so whatever in reason we will do to bring that smile to their face. Any of our ice cream we can make into a malt or a shake. Our specialty sundaes are named after different parts of North Platte. Like we have the Bailey Yard, and that's the name of our railroad here in town. And then we also have a Buffalo Bill sundae where it's peanut butter fudge ice cream, and we make homemade peanut butter fudge sauce that we pour over it with pecans. And of course top it off with homemade Cool Whip. We also make a specialty sundae called the Joetown, and it's melted homemade cherry mash candy over vanilla ice cream. And why I call it the Joetown is cherry mash was originated in St. Joseph, Missouri, and that's my hometown. My family and I moved to North Platte 16 years ago. We moved because of the railroad. I went to nursing school here in town. For 10 years, was in working surgery at the hospital, and on the weekends, I operated my ice cream trailer. We went to events around town, and then we even traveled to some events in the local communities. We would do car shows. I would do the county fair. I've attended the Dawson County Fair ever since we started 10 years ago, and our Lincoln County Fair. Craft shows. Anywhere I could pull the trailer in is where we would set up. During the years of selling ice cream in the trailer, I would have customers ask, do you have a store? And I always had to tell them no. And so after several years, I just started thinking, you know what? A brick and mortar would be, maybe that is what we need to do. So in the meantime, I really started praying and looking at what a shop would be like, and started doing some research. And that's when I found the Nebraska Development Center. And I started working on a business plan. And during that time, I worked on my business plan for about 6 months before I started looking for a building. And like I said, during that time, I just really kept asking God, okay, is this where you want us to go? What is my plan? I found the National Ice Cream Retailers Association, and I became a member, and I attended my first convention in Colorado. And it was a great networking event. I got a lot of great ideas. This is ice cream owners all across the United States. And I got a lot of valuable information from that. So then after I came back from that convention, then I started working on a business plan. And from there, we took a leap of faith. The financial aspect of starting a business is very tough. I did my research and I found Rural Enterprise Assistant Project was a program for rural businesses to start up. So I applied with that and got my startup business loan. We also use personal finances to help start our business. But it's hard to get money from a bank with startup businesses. So that's why I decided to use REAP. One of the hardest things I've had to do in opening this location was setting prices, making sure they were fair, but then also having enough money to pay the bills. And I think that was a big struggle on what to price, how to come up with your cost of goods sold. I would go to this convention, and people would charge these prices, but they're in the big city. Well, you can't charge that here, and I want to be fair to our customers here. You know, what brings me joy is seeing the families come through, seeing those little kids. I said, are you coming to get ice cream? And they're so excited. Or parents will bring them in after school, and they're getting ice cream as a reward for something that they did good at school. I want the ice cream shop to be affordable for families in our community. Got the keys to the building in April. I have had great landlords, because we do not own the building, but our landlord, I told him what we wanted to do. They were great about letting us do what we wanted. Of course, I always cleared it with them, but they were very encouraging through the whole process too. We literally started gutting everything. We took off the plaster off the brick wall and exposed the brick wall of the building. It had drop-down ceilings. We tore the ceilings out. We exposed the tin roof ceilings. 90% of the ceiling was perfect, so we were very blessed we didn't have to redo those. The flooring, we took up 4 layers of flooring. It's interesting because the last layer of flooring had burlap on it, so you think how old it was. So during this improvement process, I knew what I wanted in my head. And so I would tell my husband, okay, let's do this. And each step of the way, he would build it what I wanted. Yeah, my husband and both my boys helped through the whole renovation. We did everything but the electrical and the plumbing. When I was looking at ideas for the space and what equipment and decorations I needed, I did a lot of research. I looked at Pinterest, I looked at ice cream shops, and I didn't really want the usual ice cream shop feel. I wanted more of a downtown, cozy feeling. So I started kind of accumulating these items during my research while I was working on my business plan. A lot of it came from my home. I bought a few things new, but I wanted to keep with that charm, that character of an old-time ice cream shop. With hindsight, maybe I should have thought more about baking in the beginning, but I was concentrating more on just the ice cream aspect of it. But then when you're a dessert destination, dessert is more than just ice cream. The beginning, I told my staff that we are not a bakery. We would have some cookies, offer some pies, but since we've been open, we sell out of cookies or our fresh goods probably on a daily basis. And when they're out, they're out. We don't bake anymore in the night. My baker comes back at 8 o'clock in the morning and starts fresh for the new day. Social media has been tremendous. It's been a great advertising tool for us. So we're really looking at what the future looks like here in the ice cream shop. So my plan is I want to start making ice cream pies. Just have 3 or 4 certain ones. We will probably take orders. I want to work on online ordering. Also, we want to do cheesecakes. Maybe cheesecake on a stick. I have to make sure our kitchen is not being used for something else. For someone that's looking at starting their own business, do your research. Like I say, I worked 6 months on my business plan, and don't give up. I had people tell me, you'll never make it in North Platte selling ice cream. Downtown is dying. Why would you want to go downtown? You can't make it just selling ice cream, and that's why I didn't let them discourage. Yes, it was discouraging, but I kept doing my research. I kept thinking, okay, what else can we do besides ice cream? That's where I came up with your dessert destination. We are more than just ice cream. I have learned a lot from my father, who had his own fertilizer business. I worked for him for 14 years before we moved to North Platte. I've seen the hours that he spent and the struggles that he had. He had his fertilizer business for 24 years. I took leadership classes in nursing school that helped. My husband and boys were very encouraging. My parents were very encouraging. Friends and family kept pushing me, saying, yeah, this is the right thing to do. You can do this. And you just can't give up. You cannot give up. If you have a dream, you need to stick with it and do it. This is what I wanted to do. You know, it can work. Why can't it work? I think that's what I kept asking myself. Why can't I do this?